When I returned to Korea this summer, I found the country ringing from end to end with the stories of the cruelty and lack of control of the Japanese settlers. Friends of my own, whom I had known 2 years before as Japan's most enthusiastic friends, were now bitter and alienated by the brutalities which had come under their notice, and by the impossibility of obtaining redress for them. No one believed that the leading Japanese authorities approved of the actions of their nationals, but practically everyone blamed them for allowing 50,000 or 60,000 of the lowest class of their countrymen to overrun the land without making any provisions for their orderly control. The Japanese next excited great resentment by their policy of seizing the best land of the country, under the excuse that it was wanted for military purposes. In many cases, the Koreans found that a few weeks after the properties were appropriated, lines of Japanese shops and private houses would go up on these so-called military lands. The wholesale seizures outside Seoul and Pyongyang and still further north produced great misery. The Japanese in some cases paid a wholly inadequate sum to the Korean officials to compensate the dispossessed people. But in many cases known to me, the people had not received even the most inadequate compensation, although their land had been taken from them for over a year. As I went through the country parts this summer, after having heard the official side of the case in Seoul, I was often moved to grief by the stories brought to me in town after town. I had been over the north in the early days of the war, the days when men, although living under the dark clouds of battle, yet looked bravely forward to a brighter and more hopeful time. Now, however, hope seemed largely to have died. In every place, the tales poured into my ears were the same. Tales of harsh domination by uncontrolled Japanese soldiers, tales of brutality by irresponsible Japanese peasants, tales of the plundering of land and of home.